and welcome to another monthly Wildlife Must-Sees. This month, March, I've got a fungus, a lichen and a flower for you to go out and look for. Spring is definitely on the way. Just the other day, I had 3 singing chiffchaffs out on my walk, and I've already heard the first reports of the first swallows and sand martins arriving in the UK. So spring is very much on its way, but March can have a sting in its tail and can still feel incredibly wintry. And the species I've chosen reflect that. They're the kind of very late winter, very early spring species. So whilst you're out on your walks, no matter where you are, have a look for these. If you find any of them, let me know in the comments. But without further ado, shall we crack on? Starting with a lichen. So common orange lichen is where we're going to start this month, and this is a species you're going to encounter whether you're down by the coast, in the woodlands, or in very urban city centres. It's one of the few lichens which is really pollution tolerant, so you will find it in lots and lots of locations wherever you go. And it's a bit of a chameleon in that it can appear very greeny grey when it's wet or growing in shade. When it's got more light on it, it becomes more yellow. It's typical yellow. But if it's in full sunlight and quite dry, it goes to the orange-yellow end of the spectrum. So it's got quite a wide, diverse appearance in how it can look. It's also a species that can grow on nutrient-enriched bark. So alder and apple, you often find this on, coating the branches so that the whole appearance of the tree in the distance when the leaves aren't on can make it look very yellowy if it's in full sunlight. To add to another colour you can encounter this species as, if you go out in the dark with an ultraviolet light, it glows fluorescent orange. It's very UV reactive, and it's one of the most stunning lichens, in my opinion, to react to ultraviolet light. That's so common, right on your doorstep. No matter where you are right now, you're probably no more than 100 meters away from common orange lichen. That's how common it is. So yeah, it's well worth seeking out this month and spending some time to appreciate it. And if you have got an ultraviolet light, you will not be let down with it. So common orange lichen, definitely go out and look for. A flower next, and it's stinking hellebore, which sounds like a delightful name for a plant. It gets its name because people who think it smells bad think it smells of wet dog. So its old name is setterwort for that reason. I don't think it particularly smells bad. It's slightly fetid, but only when you really crush the leaves and things like that. It is a poisonous plant, so if you do crush any of the leaves, then definitely don't eat it and wash your hands afterwards. But it's a beautiful plant, in my opinion. Lots of late winter, spring flowers are well known. Stinking hellebore's not. You know, everyone looks for crocuses and snowdrops and daffodils. This is a great late winter, spring plant to go and look for. That's a bit of an unsung hero. It is a native plant, but it's bolstered by garden escapes. So it's commonly planted in gardens, and they escape, and it kind of muddies the water over where the true distribution of the native plant is. But more typically, that would be in limestony areas. So if you go to any limestone quarries or limestone escarpments, places like that, that's the more typical place to find this plant. It's beautiful with its 5 green sepals, not petals, that are tinged almost blood red round the edge. It is a beautiful thing. The flowers are pendulous, so they're always pointing down. You don't often get them when they're pointing totally upright. And the leaves as well are quite beautiful and home to a fungus and a fly. If you want to try and find the evidence of the fly, it's a little mine in the leaf where the larvae has been feeding away. So that's worth keeping an eye out for as well. But yeah, if you are out and about in limestony areas, definitely worth a look for. If you're not too close to limestone, well, maybe it's a good excuse to go out and have a little explore and travel. Because stinking hellebore, definitely one to look for this month. You won't be disappointed. A fungus now, and that fungus is going to be amber jelly. This is a fungus that is a bit of a jelly ear lookalike. I know lots of our followers are foragers, and I often get asked about, is there anything you can mistake jelly ear for? Well, this is potentially one of them. It's a gelatinous brown fungus that grows on wood, which is similar to jelly ear, but its habit is totally different. Whereas jelly ear likes growing on large trunks and big stems of trees, Amber jelly likes the outer extremities of willow, particularly willow. It has been reported on other trees. I've only ever seen it on willow, and in most cases it's goat willow as well. And it likes the very much the twiggy stuff right on the extremities, and maybe some stems which might be an inch or two in diameter, but that's about it. I often don't see it on the big dead willow wood. And it grows right the way through winter, so you can encounter it from November right the way through to April. And in my opinion, it often occurs when there's a slight increase in temperature when it's wet as well. Most jelly fungus, when it's dry, they shrivel up and almost disappear. When it's wet, they plump up again. If it's too wet, they kind of disintegrate and just look like snot hanging from the trees. But yeah, we often don't know. We also don't know a lot about its true distribution. Many field guides don't mention amber jelly, so it'd be nice to hear if some of you find it, where you're finding it, and help us fill in some gaps. Because it's definitely not as rare as the distribution maps make out. Often, if I look in wet areas with goat willow, I found it. So there's your challenge for this month. Find this fungus. If you do find it, let me know in the comments. Amber jelly, outer extremities of willow. Good luck. So there we have it, 3 species for you to look for this month. I was going to include a bonus one like last month, and as I filmed that, then it's quickly turned into a little bonus thing into its own video, and that's going to be about turkey tail, and it'll be out in 2 weeks' time. It'll be a how to find, how to identify its lookalikes, its uses, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in turkey tail, then 2 weeks you'll have a video just for you. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this, you can like and subscribe. If you find any of the species mentioned, leave a comment and let us know what you found. And in the meantime, have a wildlife-filled month, and I shall see you all in a month's time.